This audio is brought to you by Priscille's Pens and Scribbles.
Hello and welcome to the PPS Club Podcast Edition, episode number 5. I'm Tara Emmanuel and I present this show to you. The PPS Club Podcast Edition is tailor-made for those of you who are better listeners than readers. And in today's episode, our focus is on poetry. Have you ever felt like a poem said something in a way that resonated with you so much you could have been its author? What about when a poem captured your feelings so well you could just share it with or let it be your spokesperson to somebody else? If this sounds familiar, then you're not alone, because I also feel the same. Which is why I believe you can't talk about the many forms of poetry without acknowledging the diversity in the art form. There are numerous cultures around the world which have their own kinds of poetry, so it's impossible for one person to relate to every poem they come across. Hence, your personal taste is fashion. When I was a child, I knew poetry had a melody, which is why I approach my poems like song lyrics. In an article on the topic I wrote a few months ago, I speak about this process of mine in depth. You can find a link to the article, What I Have to Say About Poetry, in the show notes. Today, I would like you to remember that for every poem out there is a muse who inspired it. Mine are issues which I long to turn into songs, which in the end translate best into poems. This next poem that I'm about to read is called What Happens to Time. It's a translation of the poem in French that I wrote last year called Qu'arrive-t-il au temps? I'm going to read you both. But first, I will start with the translation. I wrote this poem because my relationship with time is weird, and I seem to only understand things after some time has gone by. And so here is this poem, What Happens to Time? What happens to time when two lovers are torn apart, keeping the hope of meeting again? Who can tell what happens to those who change and to those who bend, the time when two strangers dive in the stream of pretense without filling us in on the love that should have been? What happens to time once we lose it, refusing to become who we wanted, because once they get involved, we won't have it? What happens to the echoes and the tears, to the darlings who became soulmates, to the choir boys and the hearts of stones? For you and me, time no longer counts. I'm the one who waits to build memories, one brick at a time. Indeed, there is no better delight than that of knowing, in moments of respite, that somebody is waiting for me and praying. I'm now going to read the original. Qu'arrive-t-il au temps? Qu'arrive-t-il au temps quand deux amoureux se voient déchirés, gardant l'espoir de se retrouver? Qui peut dire ce qui arrive à ceux qui changent et à ceux qui pillent le temps, quand deux inconnus plongent dans le flot des faux semblants, sans laisser paraître l'amour qui aurait dû naître? Qu'arrive-t-il au temps, une fois qu'on l'a perdu, à refuser de devenir ce qu'on a voulu, car une fois que tous s'en mêlent, on n'en peut plus. Qu'arrive-t-il aux échos et aux pleurs, aux amours devenus âmes sœurs, aux enfants de cœur et aux cœurs de pierre? Pour toi et moi, le temps ne compte plus. Je suis celle qui attend de bâtir des souvenirs, une brique à la fois. Ma foi, il n'y a pas meilleur plaisir que celui de savoir, dans les moments de répit, que quelqu'un m'attend et prie. That's it, people. My poem, What Happens to Time, read by yours truly and translated by yours truly as well. Sorry for the noise. The background noise couldn't be dealt with because I live in a pretty noisy place, and I'm sure you know that already. But I hope it did not interfere with your enjoyment. And speaking of enjoyment, if you have enjoyed my translation and my reading of poetry, I would love to get some feedback from you. Why not do it by sending me a voice message directly through the link in the description? I will receive it and I would love to hear your thoughts. And for those who would like to help me reach more listeners, kindly review the podcast on Apple Podcast to help me reach more listeners. And for those who are interested in poetry as much as I am interested in poetry and just want more of it, there sure are a few other podcasts you can listen to, ones that I enjoy, both in English and French. The French one is Mort à la Poésie. I will also include the link in my show notes, and the English one is Poem of the Day by poetryfoundation.org. Those are the podcasts I listen to really for enjoyment, and it's just good vibes. Now, on a more serious note, for those out there who love what I do and would like to support me in order to help me ensure my future in the world of podcasting and writing and as a creative, there is a link in the description where you can donate. So please feel free to donate whatever you can afford. That will really make a huge difference. I will be very much grateful for that. For those of you out there who are also creatives like me, whether you write, whether you also a podcaster, whether you love poetry or anything, literature, arts or creativity, here is an invitation for you to join me in this journey as I share my artistic life with y'all. I would also love to have more people coming in. If you want me to read your poetry or short story or even your book, you can just pitch your story directly to me via Twitter or via the website. All the links in the description. Now, we are almost at the end of our episode, and this is about the time when we learn how to say something new in the section called translation. This section is called translation because it is where you learn how to say a new word or expression thrice with thrice the confidence, and where you become thrice as fluent in French, English, and Lingala with Tara Emmanuel. And today's translation is a fun one. It's a word in French which is used to describe a game designed for children, but adults can also play. This game is for somebody to seek out a group of participants who are supposed to hide. And with this description, I'm sure you have all guessed the game is hide and seek. So, how do you say hide and seek in French? Hide and seek in French is cache-cache. CACHE CACHE. Cache-cache. And what is cache-cache in Lingala? In Lingala, cache-cache is lipate. LIPATE with an accent. Lipate. Now, I'm going to put this word lipate in a sentence. My kids love to play hide and seek when everybody is supposed to sleep. In French, you will say, Mes enfants aiment jouer à cache-cache quand c'est l'heure pour tout le monde de dormir. In Lingala, you will say, Bana nangai balingaka kobeta lipate na tango oyo batu nyonso basengeli balala. Yes, this was a long one. It was done on purpose to challenge you. If you want to read how it's written while playing the episode, you can go to the website and read along. I hope you can say it better than me. And if you care, you can also send a voice message where you say these expressions, and I will be delighted to air those bits in my next episode. This was the PPS Club Podcast edition, Poetry edition, with Tara Emmanuel. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to review this podcast, to share it with your friends on social media, and until next time, don't forget to sponsor and say bye bye.